This week we will be looking into population and pollution. So for this lecture quiz, we're going to look a little bit at a historical and modern perspective. Basically, we'll start with sanitation and end with Superfund sites. As global populations continue to grow, can we ensure a sustainable future where resource consumption and pollution don't outweigh our ability to support all the people and the planet? We will be looking at interconnectedness of population and pollution, how population growth and resource consumption are related, and of course, sustainable development. In the history, we'll focus on the rise of the city, the Industrial Revolution, and environmental disasters. To set the stage, consider this. By 2050, the world's population is expected to reach 9.7 billion, significantly increasing the strain on our environment. This statistic underscores the urgency of addressing pollution and implementing sustainable practices. Early urban centers often lacked proper waste management systems, leading to severe public health issues. One notable example is Rome's Cloaca Maxima, one of the world's earliest sewage systems. Despite its innovation, many cities struggled with waste disposal, resulting in frequent outbreaks of disease. The lack of sanitation in these early centers highlights the critical need to have effective waste management systems. During the 19th century, there were significant efforts to improve urban sanitation. For example, Edwin Chadwick's 1842 report on sanitation condition of laboring population of Great Britain was groundbreaking in linking poor sanitation to spread of diseases like cholera, typhoid, and dysentery. His investigations revealed that inadequate sewage systems, contaminated water supplies, and overcrowded housing were major contributors to public health crises. Chadwick advocated for comprehensive sanitary reforms, including proper sewage systems, clean water supplies, and improved waste disposal methods. His work led to the Public Health Act of 1848 to create a local health board, laying the foundation for modern public health practices. Your first question is, who was the key figure in the 19th century sanitary movement that played a significant role in improving urban sanitation? Industrial Revolution brought upon unprecedented economic growth and technological advances. However, it also led to a significant environmental challenge. Factories and industries released large amounts of pollution into the air and water, causing severe health problems, like Chicago, for example, which has been bad over the years. In fact, in 2023, as indicated by this article, Chicago had the worst air quality among the world's big cities. London in 1952 was often referred to as the Great Smog. In 1962, Rachel Carson published Silent Spring, a groundbreaking book that exposed the dangers of chemical pesticides, particularly DDT. Carson's work highlighted the harmful effects of these chemicals on wildlife, ecosystems, and human health, sparking a national conversation about the need for environmental protection. Silent Spring is often credited with launching the modern environmental movement. The book's impact was profound, leading to the banning of DDT in the United States and the establishment of the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. What was the primary focus of Rachel Carson's book, Silent Spring? One of the most infamous environmental disasters in the United States history, well, one of several, is the Love Canal incident. From 1942 to 1953, the Hooker Chemical Company used the partially dug canal as a chemical waste dump, disposing of around 21,000 tons of toxic chemicals. In the late 1970s, residents discovered that their neighborhood was built on this toxic waste site, leading to severe health issues, including high rates of cancer and birth defects. The public outcry and health impacts led to a significant government intervention. President at the time, Jimmy Carter, declared a state of emergency and residents were evacuated. The disaster also prompted the creation of the Superfund program in 1980, aimed at cleaning up hazardous waste sites across the country. Even Tallahassee has had Superfund sites. If you look at this, there's a resource in the PowerPoint notes about this video, The Poison Ground. Another often discussed issue has been Cancer Alley. It is a region in Louisiana along the Mississippi River known for its high concentration of petrochemical plants and refineries. This area has one of the highest rates of cancer in the United States, earning it the nickname Cancer Alley. The pollution from these industrial facilities has had devastating health impacts on the predominantly low-income and minority communities living there. The situation in Cancer Alley highlights significant environmental justice issues. Residents have long fought for stricter regulations and better enforcement to protect their health and environment. This case underscores the need for equitable environmental policies that address the disproportionate burden of pollution on vulnerable communities. The U.S. has implemented several key environmental laws to address pollution and to protect public health. The Clean Air Act of 1970 regulates air emissions from both stationary and mobile sources, aiming to protect public health and the environment. The Clean Water Act of 1972 establishes the basic structure for regulating discharges of the pollutants into the U.S. waterways and sets quality standards for surface waters. The Endangered Species Act of 1973 provides for the conservation of species that are endangered or threatened and the ecosystems on which they depend. Additionally, the National Environmental Policy Act of 1970 requires federal agencies to assess the environmental effects of their proposed actions before making decisions. These laws have been instrumental in improving environmental quality and protecting public health. Continuing with key environmental laws, the Resource Conservation and Recovery Act of 1976 governs the disposal of solid and hazardous waste. The Comprehensive Environmental Response Compensation and Liabilities Act, or the CERCLA, of 1980, also known as Superfund, provides for the cleanup of hazardous waste sites. The Toxic Substrate Control Act of 1976 regulates the introduction of new or already existing chemicals, ensuring they do not pose a risk to human health or the environment. Lastly, I highlighted the Pollution Prevention Act of 1990, which focuses on reducing the amount of pollution through cost-effective changes in production, operation, and raw materials use. These laws have been highly researched and have been shown to significantly contribute to pollution control and environmental protection. If we look at a global perspective, I'm going to divide it into three major areas: air, water, and soil. Pollution is a global issue affecting air, water, and soil in many regions around the world. This is a screenshot from an interactive air pollution, air quality index, which you are free to go to. Again, the link is in the slide notes. Air pollution is primarily caused by industrial emission, vehicle exhaust, and the burning of fossil fuels. It leads to severe health impacts, including respiratory diseases, heart disease, stroke, and lung cancer. Cities like Beijing, Delhi, and Los Angeles are known as hotspots for air pollution. Moving on to water pollution, which arises primarily from agricultural runoff, industrial discharges, and improper waste disposal. This type of pollution can cause waterborne diseases, toxic exposure, and damage to ecosystems. Rivers such as the Ganges, Yangtze, and Mississippi are heavily affected by water pollution. Soil pollution is mainly due to pesticide use, industrial waste, and mining activities. It results in contamination of food crops, loss of soil fertility, and toxic exposure. Areas with intensive agricultural and industrial activity are particularly vulnerable to soil pollution. The historical context of urbanization, the initial lack of sanitation, and the 19th century sanitary movement, which brought significant improvements in public health, were how we started this. The Industrial Revolution impact on pollution in cities like London and Chicago highlight the environmental challenges of rapid industrialization. Key environmental disasters and awareness of milestones, including the Love Canal disaster, Rachel Carson's Silent Spring, and the high cancer rates in Cancer Alley, were some things we looked into, but these are just a few highlights and very specific. You will find that each of your countries also has their own history. All these events have significantly influenced public health and policy. Major U.S. environmental laws, such as the Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act, and the Superfund, that have helped reduce pollution and protect public health. Global pollution trends in air, water, and soil and their health impacts emphasize the need for international cooperation to address these challenges. You may or may not agree with Terry Swearingen, as he is known to have said, "We are living on this planet as if we had another one to go to." See you in class.